bing, 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 are the things that I say to make sure that we're live, because you're never really sure with Google. It is the Martin Fowler Scrum, and we are myself, Sam, and Raphael, and Pat, and Mikhail, and Lara is coming and going, and will be joining us shortly, I suspect. Raphael was in first. Raphael, how are things going with you?
Really well, thanks. I've hit a bit of a block with async voter because my tests aren't independent, and my tests were working. I decided to add an extra test. All of a sudden, my tests aren't independent. I wouldn't mind doing a little code review with somebody, pairing with somebody, just to figure that out. So that's my main update. Okay.
Your main block, indeed. Good to know. Pat, how are things going with you?
Good, thanks. So just quickly on MetPlus, I reviewed a bunch of stories, and I merged a PR that I put in yesterday that changed our 3 remaining Selenium tests to Poltergeist, which all of a sudden started failing across the board for Lara's PR, my PR, and Hanish's PR. So I'm confirming that change with another PR of mine that it's allowing me to get the other PR to pass CI tests, and when I'm done with that, I'll let Lara and Paul know that they should rebase. On WikiEd, I did some pair programming with Michael, who's on that project, and I think that's it for me, and no blockers.
All right. Thanks, Pat. Is that Michael, who's also on like local support? No, well, website 1 or a different one?
This is a Michael who's new to AV.
Oh, it's Michael
Zheng, Zheng.
Oh.
He resides in Germany. He's U.S. though. He's a U.S. citizen, but new guy.
Great.
Working on WikiEd.
Good stuff. Mikhail, how are things going with you?
Good so far. I went to IT job fair today. So I actually landed an interview as a junior front-end developer for next week.
Cool.
So yesterday, me and Raphael were chatting a bit. Problem was we kind of missed each other constantly, because when I was able to work, he couldn't, and then when he could, I couldn't. So
sure.
But I would really like to get involved in async voter and the WikiEd. So as soon as I can grab something before next week, when I have to go to the interview, I would like to have some React project I can show. So I'm going to spend some time on that as well. But I would really like to get coding.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, let's make it happen. Excellent. Fantastic. Let's go on to Lara. Hey, Lara, how are things going with you?
Hey, Sam. So from my side, yesterday, I just quickly paired with Patrick, who helped me just do a git push, because I was a bit scared. And then this morning I saw that my feature was failing, but I'm glad to hear that it's Patrick who has to sort it out and not me. And then last night and this morning I was playing a bit with Rails 5. I've got a small little project in that I've taken on for a client, a small little app with a login feature and a form that needs to be filled out and then emailed. So I was just messing around with the Rails 5 tutorial just so that I can get up to speed. And I had one blocker. The database didn't want to migrate. I kept getting an error. So Raul helped me this morning. It had to do with Rake. So that was sorted out. Other than that, I'm just working on client deliveries now. We have the marketing meeting after that. That's it from me.
Great. You were mentioning there a form that needs to send an email. What technology stack is that in?
I'm not sure yet. So I've still got to look at a gem, if there's a gem that can do that. But I'm just kind of doing a quick like Udemy tutorial just to bring me up to speed on Rails 5, because I haven't built anything from scratch since the boot camp.
Right, sure. So, no, the reason I mention it is just that you can get stuff to set up, like a form and email. It doesn't have to involve Rails. You could be doing it with Zapier and Google Forms or something.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, it's a bit more complex. It's like a booking form. And so I can look at Zapier. I'll have a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, there's one of those things, like if they're not asking you to put it into an existing system, like if it were an existing Rails system, that's one thing. But there are a lot of things that one can do that it doesn't have to be as, and of course it might be in that case that there's complex requirements. But yeah, Zapier is a wonderful way of just hooking up these things. Like, you know, so it's certainly worth trying, because you don't always want to be reaching for the Rails thing when you can get the job done with simpler stuff.
Okay, I'll have a look at that. It's just that it has to generate a reference number. So if it can do that, then great. I'll look at it.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. This is for a client out of Ad Factory, I guess.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, maybe share the spec and paid projects. We could. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, these are anyway. I guess I shall. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. No, don't get distracted. Okay. It's interesting thing there. Okay, cool. Thanks, Lara. That leaves me. So today I have I've been on the phone with a CCG commissioner. This is an NHS commissioner. The person in Hackney. Actually, so some of you might have seen the video about social prescribing going on in Hackney. And yeah, so I spoke to the commissioner there, who's involved in rolling that out and getting their input. And you know, it's more data collection for the NHS project, where we've kind of signed the contract and it's all moving ahead. And there's just lots of things going on. I've got a folder. I'll be going in there early tomorrow to be talking to lots more people. And yeah, I posted the project specifications in the NHS wiki channel. Yeah, Lara and Pat do have a look over that. I mean, the big thing here is that the timeline for it is still quite aggressive. You know, yeah, I just need to work out how I fit everything in and you know, delegate what things out, and also I think, you know, moving towards paying people for different things, because you know, otherwise I just get, you know, hopelessly overloaded. But we'll discuss more of that in the marketing meeting. Other things that happened yesterday, the async voter sort of async kickoff. Really, the kickoffs the last couple of days, async voter, Redeemify. All I've been able to do is get as far as remind myself the things that I need to do that is blocking other people, but not actually get them done. So yeah, just gotta deal with that. What else happened yesterday? It was Wednesday yesterday. I just can't. Oh yeah, caught up with Dree. We had the Elixir mob. Today we've got the marketing meeting, and then we've got the Ruby mob coming up. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Yeah, so well, Rafa was just asking in the chat about, you know, a list of the tasks for async voter. Well, since maybe what we should do now is just I've got a few minutes before the marketing meeting. Maybe Mikhail and Rafael and I should all have a chat about async voter in this hangout. Should we do that?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Lara and Pat, did you need to coordinate on anything?
No, I'm good, thank you.
I just need to fix Laura's PR problem for her. But the other thing, Sam,
go on, Pat.
It's my problem, Laura. Yeah, so we talked about changing the meeting for this, changing meeting time and consolidating the 2 scrums in the morning. I'm suggesting maybe we wait till tomorrow. You're not around tomorrow. Excuse me, wait till next week. You're not available tomorrow anyway?
Yeah,
and Paul,
go on.
Yeah, I was going to say Paul Kastner, who's in Australia, wanted to talk about that. As you know, he's got a difficult time zone if we move it forward. But I think he's got some leeway there. Like moving it forward an hour would work for him. An hour and a half would be iffy. But anyway, maybe we ought to defer that till next week.
I think so. I think it sounded like, yeah, we
put it off for an hour.
I think so. And yeah,
Raphael's also from Australia.
He is, but he's in Hungary.
Oh,
that's correct.
Okay.
He's got the Australian accent, but not the time zone.
So Sam, that's not a stopper. I told Paul I could meet with him maybe twice a week or once a week whenever he needs it.
Yeah.
For the MetPlus project. But anyway, something to think about.
Yeah, I'm tempted to, and the way that it's gone this week is, you know, it's been okay. And I mean, I guess what I would, you know, I'm interested in is mixing things up. But actually, yeah. So let's leave that there for the moment, and we can keep on being.
Keep it on.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of need to get like like above water on this NHS thing, and then I think at the moment, it's, you know, yeah, we should leave it as is. But yes, thanks for everybody's input on that. Good show. All right, yeah. Well, let's move on to talking about async voter then, and so Aresh, who's been very involved. I mean, I think he's actually got a job of some description, which is great for him. Woohoo! But yeah, like, and he you know, he comes and goes and so on. The situation that we're in and that we reviewed in the kind of async voter on here, this was the key stuff for me, was basically getting the system off of DigitalOcean where it currently is and onto Azure, where we actually have, like, Azure has given us a big load of credits. So I mean, the context here is we've got this thing, we got, you know, we can create these little automated votes in the environment, and that's really useful and handy. And we've got these, they're called like slash commands. So we've got, this one is hooked up to one box running on DigitalOcean, and this voter staging is hooked up to another version also on DigitalOcean. And so oh gosh, what's it? Aresh has set up on DigitalOcean like this Doku framework that gives us a command line interface like Heroku, but without having to pay Heroku fees, which is a very interesting model that I'm quite excited about in terms of not spending money, so we don't have to. Yeah, so I then went through and I managed to complete the creation of this voter staging one, and that all works, and it allows us to deploy and test something before we, you know, accidentally break it for the production system. So that's very handy. And yeah, so we've also set up the same Doku framework on Azure, which is Microsoft's competing version to DigitalOcean and Amazon Web Services. And I've started like deploying there. It's quite a complex process. We've got this, and I've been trying to sort of document it as we go forward. So the kind of my action items that I would love to have achieved by yesterday would have been completing this documentation of all of it and actually getting the Azure stuff set up, and oh gosh, what's the word? Like actually switching over to Azure, because we've got limited funds left on DigitalOcean and we've got a much bigger pool of funds on Azure. So we want to make this transition. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So does that take long?
No, it's just kind of fiddly. Like none of these things necessarily take very long. I mean, I think the important thing in some ways is that in the current circumstances, what I need to do is make sure that, for example, like Raphael was enabled to do things like this, so that it doesn't fall on me when I'm kind of got lots of other things going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So also talking about maybe Raphael might become the project manager for async voter, and then, you know, could sort of take the lead on the project. I mean, at the moment, I'm in the situation where I've got oh, I lost my, what's it called? Heads up. I'm sort of lead on website one, local support, Redeemify, async voter, and it's I think I kind of have to hand off at least two of those, and sensibly the ones I think are async voter and Redeemify. So I guess what I could try and just do here in a couple of minutes. Well, the other thing is we could be looking at Raphael's. You're blocked on that test independence issue, aren't you, Raphael?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know if I've put some. It's a formatting issue. I put in a before statement into my testing block, and it seemed to be working, and now it's not working. So.
Yes. Well, then maybe that's something if you and Mikhail could have a look at together. I guess what I'll just take you through here is this. I mean, the challenging, because Michael was trying to work on this Slack command. The difficulty, like independently, you can like get the tests all running locally for the Slack command. Actually setting it up so that you can run a test instance with Slack and see the whole, you know, end to end is kind of complicated. So we've got this description here of like the setup on DigitalOcean. And oh gosh, I mean, it's going to run up to get my brain into it. But so let me at least show you this Doku command line interface, because it's I mean, everybody here is familiar with Heroku. But what's interesting is if we go here for the Doku, we can start calling commands like this. We can get like this. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Let's get apps. Oh, apps. We'll give us a list. There. So, assuming that you've got SSH permissions, Aresh set up this command. This is like just like you were doing, like, you know, Heroku, yeah. But so it's provided the lightweight version, and so we've got there. You can see we've got a test node app. We've got async voter, and we've got async staging, and that was one that I created. So you can then, like, the async voter, it relies on this Redis service, which you have to create and then link up. There's also like SSL certificates. You've got to get all of the environment variables. And so then the thing is that in order to set all the environment variables, you've got to have sort of management access on Slack to go in and then go and get your client ID and client secret and verification token and so on. And so what was missing from the documentation originally was this, how you create one of these new apps. So I think, yeah, basically where I am up to now is I've created this like voter staging Azure just to check that we can do. We still haven't done a full deploy of the app, you know, working with Slack on Azure. And I'm now, these are the hanging things. I need to configure the OAuth and configure the interactive messaging, and assume that it works. I can then put a production one in, and then I can like swap them all around and basically link up the /voter so that it's, you know, taking up credits on Azure rather than on DigitalOcean. But so maybe what we should do, Raphael, is we should arrange a session where you and I maybe do that together, and we try and get you all the permissions for all of these things, and then that will document it and also enable you to address them in future. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Just say when.
Yes. Okay. Indeed. The trick time. Yeah.
Same.
So I think at least we're all on the same page there. Hopefully, let's leave that there. We've got the marketing meeting coming up. Yeah. Raphael and Mikhail, feel free to create another hangout and start chatting there, looking at each other code. I mean, I think it would be a worthwhile thing. Maybe Raphael and Mikhail, Raphael, you helping Mikhail get the code and the test running locally on his system, right, as a first step. Yeah, and of course, you know, copious text in the async photo channel, just letting us know what's going on, and we'll do as much as we can to help you move forward. Nice one. Excellent. All right. Well, I'll see some of you in the marketing meeting shortly. Bye for now.
See you, Sam. Thanks, everyone. I'll chat with you, Michael.
Ciao. Bye.
Sure.